Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel where we make learning English easy and fun. In today's video, we're going to dive into the present simple tense. Ready to get started? Let's go. The present simple tense is one of the most basic tenses in English. We use it to talk about habits, general truths, and routines. But what does that mean exactly? Let's break it down. First, let's look at the structure of the present simple tense. It's pretty straightforward. For most verbs, you just use the base form of the verb. For example, I walk, you walk, we walk, and they walk. Easy, right? But what about he, she, and it? For these, you add an s or es to the verb, so it's he walks, she walks, and it walks. Now let's talk about forming questions and negatives in the present simple tense. To form a question, you use do or does at the beginning of the sentence. We use does for the third person singular, she, he, it, and do for the others, I, you, we, they. For example, where do Anneli and Emma live? What does Anneli do? When does Sarah usually get up? But questions with who often don't use do or does. For example, who lives in London? Who plays football at the weekend? For negatives, you add do not or does not before the verb. We use doesn't for the third person singular, she, he, it, and don't for the others. For example, I don't live in New York now. They don't work at the weekend. John doesn't live in Manchester. Emma doesn't drive to work. She goes by bus. We use the present simple to talk about something that is true in the present. For example, Anneli is a student. She lives in London, something that happens regularly in the present. I play football every weekend. He always comes to the office at 8 a.m., something that is always true. The human body contains 206 bones. Light travels at almost 300,000 kilometers per second. We often use adverbs of frequency like sometimes, always, usually, rarely, and never with the present simple. We also use the present simple to talk about something that is fixed in the future, schedules, facts. The school term starts next week. The train leaves at 19:45 this evening. We fly to Paris next week. Something in the future after time, words like when, after, before, if, conditionals. And unless, I'll talk to John when I see him. You must finish your work before you go home. If it rains, we'll get wet. He won't come unless you ask him. We sometimes use the present simple to talk about the past when we are telling a story. It might seem strange, but the present simple can be used to talk about the past when telling stories. This gives the reader-listener the feeling of being there in the present. This is also known as the historic present. For example, so I walk into my hotel room, I look around, and I realize that everything is gone. I start to panic. Fortunately, after about 5 minutes, the cleaner sees me and tells me that I'm in the wrong room. Summarizing a book, film, or play. When you want to describe the plot of a book you read or a movie that you watched in the past, use the present simple. It might feel like you are using the present to describe something you experienced in the past, but think of it as describing details of the story. This is more like describing facts. For example, in the movie, Jack meets Rose, and they fall in love. Their ship hits an iceberg and sinks. Running commentary. Sports broadcasters use present simple when providing a running commentary for sporting events. For example, he looks down the field, he kicks the ball, it's good, he scores. Next time you watch a sporting event in English, listen for the present simple. Let's practice using it together. Answer a few questions to check how well you understand this grammar construction. How many answers did you get right? Leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel to see more videos like this one.